consider this an Indian sandwich?
I would consider this an Indian-ish sandwich.
Explain that.
For us, sandwich, it tells a story. It has to have a journey.
Sandwiches are such a universal comfort food. It crosses all cultures.
There you go. Can I do chicken tikka panini?
3 chickens and panini.
Normally, I avoid line culture like the plague, but this one's worth it.
Do I know of any other sandwich that's like Naanini? No.
You also trademark the name. Yes?
We are going to trademark the name of Naanini.
So, other Naaninis out there better lawyer up.
Yes. Or pay us the royalty.
Come in. It's cold outside.
Chicken tikka, regular with onion.
Hi. Welcome to Fonty's. What can I get for you today?
I'm Viraj Borker. I'm the founder, CEO of Fonty's, Deli and Dukaan. My partners with Fonty's are Arjun and Varsha.
Viraj's my business partner and friend, and Arjun's my husband and my business partner.
All right, everybody, it is Saturday, February 7th. It's 10 degrees, feels like minus 16. I think it only feels like minus 16 if the wind is going, because it's not that bad without the wind. I'm wrong.
Fonty's is a very simple sandwich shop meets deli meets Dukaan.
Dukaan means store in Hindi, and it's our opportunity to bring all these really cool South Asian flavors to people's homes.
We wanted people to feel at home. Also, like, where do you find in New York a deli where, you know, you also have a little cozy nook in the back? Thank you. At our deli, every sandwich is a little different. The best sellers at Fonty's are the chicken tikka nanini, the Bombay sandwich, the meatball sub, and parsley people love.
Tell me about the Naanini.
We have 3 types of naninis. We have the chicken tikka nanini, we have the Kerala beef nanini, and then we have the chana masala nanini. All right, let's begin with the chicken tikka nanini, one of our most sought out sandwich. We have made all of these cards for everybody to read. It begins with a nice fresh piece of naan. Here goes the hot spread. The hot spread is really spicy, so very little. Nice heap of chicken tikka and with the creamy tomato sauce, pickled onions. We go with the secret sauce.
Can you tell me what the secret sauce is?
Oh, that's why it's called a secret. A heap of mozzarella cheese. The Naanini is a take on a panini. Naanini is just our version of what the panini should be. Whenever you take a bite of the Naanini, first you get the pickled onions. Then comes the creaminess from the mozzarella cheese. Then you get the buttercream sauce.
Can I get
Chicken tikka?
Yeah.
Chicken tikka Naanini?
Yeah.
First time anybody tried the Naanini, the first reaction is, I think the facial expression speaks louder than any words can describe.
Go.
Here we are making the chicken tikka of the chicken tikka Naanini. There are many ways to make a chicken tikka, and we have come up with our own. Making it in-house is where our control comes into play. We actually create our own spice blend right here. Turmeric, smoked chili powder, dry fenugreek. It looks like weed, but it's not. I joke it as an Indian weed, but it adds a nice smoky flavor because we don't cook chicken tikka in tandoor. We cook it in the oven, and we want to get that flavor of the tandoor in our chicken. The marinade has to be rubbed individually on the chicken. My education allowed me to have a very scientific approach. My friends call me mad scientist in the kitchen. I came here to the US in 2008. I was born and raised in Pune, nice tiny tech city, very close to Mumbai. I came here for school. I had my undergrad in hospitality, and then I went to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, and I was the only brown guy. Nobody becomes a chef. Everyone is a lawyer, doctor, and an engineer in my family. I first got my internship with Tabla. Tabla was owned by Danny Meyer, and executive chef was Floyd Cardoz. Floyd Cardoz at Tabla and Bread Bar, he used to make a nanini made out of Kerala beef and lamb, and that's my biggest inspiration to create the nanini. Void was a chef who would always aim for minimum education of the menu. It was made in such an obvious way that people will get it. You should try. And the simplicity of creating something that people can relate to understand, is something I totally get from Fried Carlos. Enjoy. Hey, how are you? What should you get? It all depends on what you're in the mood for. If you want something vegetarian, then the Bombay sandwich is an all-time favorite. So the inspiration behind Fonty's was very simple because we opened Fontenas in Dumbo in 2024.
The name Fonty started as a joke. Oh, Fonties, that's a short for Fontenas. We're like, what would Fonties be? And we literally all wanted it to be a sandwich shop because we love sandwiches. Honestly, Viraj and I already had ideas in our buckets and then we just needed to pull it out. For our sandwiches, we do a lot of blends of our Indian flavors that we grew up with and the New York sandwiches that we ate in the city.
Oh, one of the beautiful things was the bread tasting. This is actually a Korean bakery makes this specifically for us. We wanted a texture called as pao. Pao basically is a specific type of bread you get in India, which I actually haven't found an Indian bakery that does pao very well in America.
Bombay.
Our Bombay sandwich, our vada pav, our chutney sandwich, you get them on the streets of India. Tuna melt is not an Indian sandwich, but we wanted to put Indian flavors, so the mustard we use is the mustard from East India. We wanted to do a chicken panini, so instead of doing a regular chicken panini, we were like, why don't we do a chicken tikka panini? But instead of panini, why don't we use a naan? And then the sauce that we use is the butter sauce, the chicken tikka butter sauce.
It is a traditional makhani sauce, just done in a very different way. That goes into our lamb meatball sub as well as our chicken tikka nanini. These chili flakes are Kashmiri chili flakes. They have to be Kashmiri chili flakes. This sauce almost takes 5 to 6 hours because the grinding has to be also done at a specific level because then it has to emulsify. If I was doing this in a restaurant setting with all the available equipment, like there would be a specific process. But Fonty's as a deli and the kind of rush we get, we can't afford that, nor does this space allow us to do that. We optimize and re-engineer the recipes in the best way possible. Like I said, there are 11 ways to do things, but we have the 12th one. You guys can come on in. Chicken?
Tikka. In Assam is where my home is. Tikka means ass. I grew up in India. I grew up in Guwahati, Assam. It's the tea land. And then I lived in Bombay for almost 9 years.
It's always funny to me because I'm an actor and I've been professionally acting for 20 years. One of my first jobs in 2009, I started working on a show called Nurse Jackie, but I'd never worked in a restaurant until we started this. Part of being a good partner is knowing where to step back. And when it comes to food and the creation of it, my job is to taste.
I had this sandwich guy who'd sit outside my building, and there were times I didn't have any change, I didn't have any cash. He would be like, don't worry about it, go eat something. Like, that's all he cared about. But I loved those sandwiches. So for me, food was given with so much love always, and the street food in India is always, it always comes with love and you can feel it. There are a lot of sandwiches that we have which is from my growing up. Bombay sandwich is definitely one of those sandwiches. This is cilantro chutney that we make in-house. So we start with potatoes, with onions, tomatoes, peppers, and our final layer is the Amul cheese. We make a blend with cheese and chili. Finishing touch with the Bombay blend spice. Indian customers feel a lot of nostalgia with it. They're very happy to get something like a slice of home, like a bite of home. And even non-Indian customers who come in, they're like, oh, we've heard about it, or we've heard from friends, or TikTok, or Instagram. It's one of our best sellers, yes. I think this and chicken tikka is like competing every day.
Can I get chai with that?
Yes! Edward, here you go.
When we used to have a line out the door, we used to just take the kettle out and pour this chai out to the guests. It's delicious. It's a perfect morning start. We generally make chai in batches so we can hold it all upstairs. Once it comes to a full boil, it steeps for a few minutes. The whole process is mentioned over here so that people can follow the process very thoughtfully. And then we strain and then we hold it. We sell at least about 100 cups of chai every day.
So that's a lot.
That is a lot. I don't know if people like you know this, but India was a coffee country before it became a tea country. So this is the oldest way to make coffee, or how it's called kapi. When you're in India, you will definitely see these in like street vendors. There are coffee stalls, just like chai wala. To create the foam, the coffee walas generally go like all the way to the top. So you see this little foam that's formed. And not only do they go super fast, they go very tall, like zoop, zoop. I'm gonna drink this if you don't mind.
I'll allow it.
Families out together? I love it.
It's not on TikTok, so it's just like
Oh,
super famous.
thank you, TikTok.
Yeah.
You can tell me your full name. I got you, Uncle.
Fonty's open on September 6th. So as of today, I would say 5.5 months, 6 months. I'm good at finance, but I'm pretty bad at math.
So when we were opening here and when we were building it, we were thinking, okay, what can we do to be a part of the community? And so we had this idea of doing what we call the community hour. We just put it on Instagram that whoever wants to can come get a free sandwich.
When we opened the doors, the first day we had a line curving down the block. We didn't plan for this line. We didn't plan for this kind of support that we were getting.
What we had to start doing was there was a large enough line where from literally here all the way down to that Waverly spot, we'd have this line of people that wanted to try our sandwiches.
So at day one, around 7ish, I told Viraj, we don't have anything. We have no potatoes, we have no chicken, we have no lamb, everything was over. I was like, you have to go and tell the people in line that we don't have anything to sell.
Ideally, it takes any average restaurant about 2 years to 3 years to get profitable. It took us 3.5 months to get profitable in this 4-wall.
I mean, Indian food, I feel like in general is having its moment. Indian food was put into this box of spicy food, but that's not what we grew up with. We grew up with flavorful.
My new favorite sandwich in New York City, and it's a chicken tikka masala Naanini.
I don't have TikTok, and my wife and Viraj usually tell me what's happening on TikTok, but it was a lot of people that came in and were just like, hey, we found this place. Oh my God, they do a Bombay sandwich.
How did you hear about this place?
I actually heard about it on TikTok.
It wasn't officially open yet, and we were seeing stuff, and people were like, oh, you have to go.
I definitely feel like there's something personal we are sharing here. I mean, it's super validating. I feel like I know I'm enough, but it is very validating.
New Yorkers themselves, to me, are a tapestry of experiences. So when we created this sandwich, we created with a sense of emotion and with a sense of belonging that we thought New Yorkers would relate to. That's how I think a sandwich tells a story. I think a sandwich is a beautiful example of a cross-pollination of culture. All you need is a bread, a filling, some sauces to go with it, and some texture. And that can come from anywhere. And I think that's an embodiment of immigrants or somebody who has traveled, who have crossed borders before they have crossed streets.